All right, boxing fans. We're here with up-and-coming lightweight contender Pietro Lariga, his manager Bo Iana, and his trainer Ibn Kaysan, better known to some folks as Hasim Rahman's brother. Guys, how you doing today?
I'm fine.
We're doing great.
We're doing great. Thank you.
Yeah. How hot is it out there in Vegas right now?
It's too hot.
Yeah.
We're literally cooking.
Oh man. And where are you? Whose cooking are you eating right now?
So we're at Starbucks right now, and I know Pietro's not eating.
We'll drink some water after the workout. We'll talk maybe about the workout today.
Yeah. Are you trying to make weight? You're going to tell me you got a fight coming up now?
I didn't start it right now, but I will make weight like in 1 week. I started to make my weight easy.
We're looking at some options right now for potential bouts in the very near future, in the next month or two, latest.
Okay. So when last time we spoke, you guys were working on making it so that Pietro could fight here in the States and get a visa. What's going on?
Say that again.
Last time we told we was working on getting the visa.
Yeah, that's still we're still working on that. Unfortunately, it just takes a little bit of time. Going through the sanctioning bodies and going through promoters and getting about agreements and so on. There's certain things that's requirements that you gotta handle before you can apply for the visa. Which takes a little time, but in the meantime, we're getting ready. We stay ready, and we're preparing ourselves for the next bout.
Okay,
which will be in the States.
Good. So for those that don't know, we had a chat before, and we had to redo the interview. So Pietro is a lightweight of Italian descent, born and raised in Germany, and we've got Ibn Kaysan, the American trainer, and Bo Iana, his Romanian manager. So we've got an international group here. So, Pietro, tell me a little bit again about how you got into boxing and when and that story.
I'll get into boxing. Yeah, like I think it's like the past was the reason why I get to boxing, and some friend of mine put me there because he saw my potential. He said try it with boxing, and I did it, and I fall in love like quick.
I don't know how when you was just a street fighter at first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the truth. Okay. Yeah,
we want nothing but the truth here.
Yeah, I have like a lot of problems. I have a lot of street fight with and problems like with the judge and stuff like this as a little kid. And then like an older friend, like he's my older brother, he's like, hey, you have to stop this, go to boxing and take your anger out. Yeah, and then I go to boxing and somebody kicked my ass there, and then I get more anger, and then I was like, okay, I will kill him. Yeah, and then I started training for him. And then I realized like my whole life is changing in the same moment. It was like, oh, I feel good. Now I have not so much anger anymore. And I saw like boxing is not like a street fight, and I understand boxing is like work. You have to be smart, getting better every day. Yeah, and this skills, a lot of skills. And yes, and then I keep going with the boxing. And then I met my manager's brother in my work. And I did some amateur fights, and like after 3 months, it was every soon everything. I did in 3 months boxing. I did 8 amateur fights, and his brother is talking. Shows me a video from some guy, and this guy was me, and I was like, "Hey, that's me." And then he's like, "No way," because I told nobody I started boxing. I did for myself, like to keep my anger away, right? And then he called his brother, and
I was in the States. I was in Los Angeles.
He was in the States in LA. And 1 week later, he's like watching me sparring. And then he said, like, okay, come.
I flew out to Germany to watch him spar. And then the rest is history.
Yeah, and you signed him up.
What you talk? What you talk? What you
Yeah, pretty much a week after him and I spoke, I flew out to Germany, Munich, which my family lives in Munich as well.
Okay.
And I went to see him spar, like what I saw. I saw him spar without a headgear. I told him, "You want me to manage you? Then you're gonna have to start sparring with a headgear." He just didn't know. You know, kids in Germany spar with a headgear. It's like if you want to stay a boxer, then you're gonna have to start using headgears. You know. And then I brought him to the States. Started training at Wild Card with at Frank Roach's Wild Card. You know, and after 8 amateur fights, I told him, you know, which he won the first and second round knockout, easy fights. I told him I don't think it's, you know, we should waste our time with staying amateur. Let's just turn pro immediately, and which we did.
Okay, great.
And that was like what, 8 years ago? 2018, 6 years ago.
Okay. All right. So you're 14-1 now with 12 knockouts. And is it safe to say that the 12 knockouts is what contributed to your nickname Power?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, like, for me, it's like different. For me, it's like everything a little bit deeper. It's not like the power. I mean, like the power is in everything. In my belief to God, this is my power. In my belief to my family, the belief in myself, to believe in my trainer. And that's why, like, I mean, power reigns the ring is like the mental, everything is power, you know, and that's why
the physical, the emotional, the psychological,
right?
The you know, everything is power, everything is energy, and of course, it helps that he got the knockout power.
I mean, like, I don't want to humbleness. If you have humbleness, that's power too. You know, like you don't need to show everybody like the truth. That's what I learned from my past, like with the boxing, and that's why was heißt, kann ich identifizieren mit dem Namen.
He can identify himself with that name because of the wide range of the meaning of the word power itself.
And the rest is history. Like the knockouts and everything is
just, you know, it's just added to it.
Now, Ibn, I had asked you last time if you felt like Pietro was more of an accumulation where, you know, that led to his knockouts, or does he have one punch knockout power? And I believe you told me that you feel the one punch knockout power is there.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's very explosive, like a kind of like a Teofimo Lopez or a Gervonta Davis. He's really explosive. So definitely the one punch power is there, and we're working on, you know, all facets of boxing, meaning setting the shots up. If we have to be accumulative with it, then we're going to be ready for that. You know, we're not going to be just dependent on his explosiveness. We're going to just learn how to break a fighter down and get the win by any means necessary.
Okay. It's interesting that you mentioned Teofimo. I'm not sure about after this past weekend's fight about the power, although Steve Claggett has a pretty good chin, a well-documented chin.
I mean, I didn't really, I haven't really watched that fight, but I do know, I am familiar with Teofimo, and I believe that a lot of these fighters, they don't understand boxing. They don't understand how they may be, like, a lot of times finding you see the power when the punch is able to be set up. It's very hard to get just like Gennady Golovkin knock somebody out, even though they see it coming, you just knock them out anyway. Or Arthur Beterbiev, where there's so much power there that even though you see it, it's just going to destroy you in it. It's so much destructive power. With people like Teofimo, they need to set it up, and then you can really see the fruits of their power when it's like not. When the person doesn't see it coming, when they don't know it's coming, when it's coming from different angles, when the uppercut's coming and they thought the overhand was coming, or when the left hook was coming and they thought the straight right was coming and they get hit with something, then you can see a power punch's power really come to fruition. I feel like most of these boxers don't know how to do that. they just fight somebody that's so beneath them that you see them knock somebody out. But when they get to somebody that is really on the same level as them, they don't know how to set that up. So then they just look normal. They look normal. So I'm trying to teach my fighters, including Robin, how to the art of really setting things up. Why Canelo is who he is. You know, why Brigandial was who he was. Why, you know, like people like that, like these people, I feel as though they understand boxing. You understand? Anyway, that's the science I come from.
Okay. And you'd like to do the same thing with Pietro?
Yeah, I plan to do we got, again, we've been through a total revamping stage. I had to totally rebuild him and understand, so you can understand boxing from my perspective on how I view boxing, because I believe I view boxing way different than most other people do it. So we actually had to take a bunch of steps backwards, and that's why we're just in the rebuilding phase of Pietro. He came to me as a product that was ready to fight. From what he already had, he could have did well, but I think his potential was capped off of where his ability was when he came to me. So what I'm doing now is breaking him back down and teaching him new things and different ways of looking at things. That's going to hopefully broaden that horizon, so that way he can go way further, as opposed to just maybe getting a title and losing, you know, or becoming a contender and then losing when it comes to the title shot. I want him to be able to get that title, keep it, reign, and become one of the best fighters that ever walked this earth. Purely for selfish reasons, really, because I want to become the best trainer that ever walked this earth. In order to do that, I need to create the best product, right? So purely selfish reasons.
Right. And Pietro, how do you find yourself adapting to this process of being broken down from where you were when you came from Germany to the States and kind of starting over in a way?
Coach Evan, he breaks everything down, not only like my skills. Like, we started with the mental thing, with my emotion. Like, I was so emotional, you know, and if something didn't work out well, like soon, then I was frustrated or stuff like this. And he breaks everything down, and he tell me like why he breaks it down. Then I get understanding for it, and now I see boxing with different eyes. Even if I see boxing in the TV or something, I believe like I see a lot of mistakes what fighters do now, because sometimes they work harder than they have to. And yes, like I can feel like I grow up. I know now when I do something, why I do something. And before was everything from my instincts, and now it's like I understand a little bit more. But we keep working on it every day. We never stop.
Yeah, that's good. Now, Bo, you had been talking before about like kind of like some marketing plans and like athletic wear and like a whole brand with Pietro. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, you know, the good news is he's not a bad looking guy. So that means,
or even for a regular guy,
it's not a bad looking guy. That means that gives me the power and the ability to create a brand. So that means, why not create I'm going to reach a little higher. Why not create like the next Cristiano Ronaldo of the boxing world? Why not? He got the looks, he's humble, got the personality. He looks good on camera. He puts up a good show. And why not create a whole brand around him? My family, we come from licensing, from entertainment. And I understand the power of licensing, the power of branding. And, eventually, why not create a workout app, and where he actually is the face of it and does all the movements and all the exercises, and then, bring in people, branding, endorsement deals. I think it's a good look, because I look further than just the boxing work, because boxing is going to stop at some point, and like, let's give him like 10 years.
Right.
Then, it's going to, in about 10 years, it's going to be on its way out. but then we still want to make money. We still want to be able to capitalize on that because, you know, as we know, most boxers after their careers, no matter how much money they've made, most of them, about 80–90% of them, they go broke. I don't want that to happen. I want him to be able to enjoy the fruits of his labor even past the boxing career. That makes sense.
No, it does, and that's an age-old story in boxing. You're right about you know, the fighters. So many fighters that don't have anything left after their career.
Absolutely, you know, why not still receive residual income? Why not become a businessman? Businessman afterwards. Well, it's business. You know, it has no limits.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to do right now. That's my job as his manager. To get him, you know, look what they did with Conor McGregor. You know, for instance, in the UFC, he made more money outside of the hectagon than what he made inside the hectagon.
Right.
He's worth $250 million because that whiskey, you know, the Irish whiskey and stuff like that. You know, well, and you know, and he's Italian. You know, let's do a pasta product, whatever. You know, or wine product, pasta product,
Power pasta.
Yeah, power pasta. You know, and then, you know, all of that. That's a real thing. All that is possible. What we're saying right now, we're just creating new visions and so on that I'm going to go after. Believe me that.
Okay, and of course, a successful winning record in the ring helps.
No, absolutely. You know, I mean, we're not going to be able to create a brand without him becoming a world champion. That's just what it is.
I mean, this is my dream.
And you know, coach might not know this, but you know, after within the career of boxing, once we have a couple of belts or whatever, or defend a couple of belts, then there could be a potential crossover to the UFC. We spar with Brandon Moreno, for instance.
Okay.
Handled it right before he became a world champion. We was in his camp, but he handled them in boxing, obviously. And then why not become a double champion? You know, because he's good in wrestling. He's a street fighter. He trained wrestling. He did that. He did some kickboxing. You know, I think, you know, we can. Sky's the limit, and it's all possible. Everything that we're talking about is not unattainable.
Right. Now, would a crossover to MMA be dictated by the money? You know, if it makes dollars, it makes sense.
Of course, you know, it's a business. You know, any sports out there is about 80% business, 20% boxing or sports or whatever the sports is. It's all about money in the end, but it's also about legacy. The money just comes with it. If you love what you're doing, then you do it because you love it, and the money is just a byproduct of it.
Yeah. Now, Pietro, are you going to fly the Italian flag or the German flag, or both?
Italian flag. I'm honest. I'm like my heart is pumping for Italy. That's why I want to choose my Italian flag.
Yeah, but we also going to add a little German flag to it. Because, you know, we have to just. That's from the business aspect. You know, he's about passion. I'm about business.
Right.
Well, I'm about numbers.
If and when you win a world title, perhaps you can do a tour or have a defense in Italy, a defense in Germany.
Yeah, I would do it. I would do a defense in Germany too. But I mean, like, in my part, the German country don't give me this big support. Why I need to support them?
Neither did Italy. That's just but you know, I think that was one of the biggest dreams that to defend the title and to fight for a title in Italy, possibly at the Coliseum.
Oh wow!
That would be that's history. That's history waiting to be written right there. Fighting at the Coliseum in Rome. Forget about it.
Yeah. They'd have to fortify the infrastructure there a little bit, I think.
I mean, listen. There was rumors that Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk was trying to fight each other at the Coliseum. Everybody started laughing about it. You know the news. But this is a fight for the Coliseum right here. This right here. Once once we become a world champion, and I'm saying that not because we think we're going, you know, I'm very confident that we can achieve all those achievements. I've known him for many years, for 8 years, 9 years. I've been around him. I've managed him ever since. You know, I know what drives him. I know what, you know, how every feeling that he has, I feel.
Robin,
Yeah.
I think, like, you know, my coach and my manager, like, they're thinking very far, right? And for me, it's like how Bruce Lee said, I've tried to empty my mind and show off every day and be like empty and learn everything and go step by step. That's why, like, I go with the flow, you know, and I want to do the work first, and that's what I work for.
He's able to go with the flow because he trusts in his team. He's able to go with the flow because he trusts in the coach, teaching him and, you know, and guiding him through his abilities as a professional boxer and learning abilities. And I just know because I just know him. You know, I've seen it from day one when I saw him in person. I've seen it from you know, I've seen everything that we're doing right now. I was able to visualize since day one when I saw him spot first. I actually almost didn't manage him. I told him, if you ever go spot without a headgear, there's no reason for me to manage you. I almost walked out on him. My late father, you know, who died of Alzheimer's, he was a boxer too. He actually pointed him out. He's like, that's the one right there. So I hung on.
All right. Well, so you had trust in your dad's judgment.
I mean, you know, it was easy. It was an easy choice just because the ability, from what I saw, I was able to imagine what could be given with the right training, the right coaching, and, you know, and the right guidance. Because if you're naturally talented and have if you're different, your abilities to move and the athleticism, natural athleticism, you can't, you know, that you're born with that. And with the guidance of a coach, of a really good coach like Coach Eben, you know, I think, you know, sky's the limit. I really think that. I think he's going to become the biggest threat at the 135 division. Mark my words.
Well, I hope so. That would be nice to see, and you know, break the story on another fighter like we did with Robin. You know, before he fought Kovalev, that was a privilege, and I'm excited to, you know, to see what happens with you. So you guys definitely keep Fight News apprised of developments and when you land a fight and where, and I'd love to be on hand for that at some point.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Robert.
All right. Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.